Hi, welcome to the Maxpert video series. My name is Joseph June. I'm the Vice President of Product Management here at ServiceMax. Today we're going to be talking about how ServiceMax mobile app uses the Service Flow Manager to deliver exactly what the technician needs when he needs them. So given that field service mobile app needs to align to business processes, imagine that if you have the ability to configure workflows and make it instantly available. And not only that, but be able to target that workflow to specific users depending on their skill set, their certification, and their requirements, as well as specific type of work that they're performing. Meanwhile, making it all instantly available offline without having to go through App Store or anyone having to write any line of code. A field service mobile app in the hands of a capable and a skilled technician can be of a tremendous value. However, it can be also a source of frustration or even a loss in productivity. This is because, as we all know, the business processes and conditions are always changing. And whatever changes that is in the process needs to be immediately reflected on the mobile app itself. And no matter what the situation is, the information on the mobile app needs to be current and valid. This also means that given the fact that field service mobile apps are working in places where there's sporadic connectivity or there's no connectivity, that information needs to always to be up to date on the mobile app itself. These are unique challenges of a field service mobile app. To address these unique requirements in field service, ServiceMax developed a special framework for delivering these requirements. We call these the Service Flow Manager. And this is something that's more than simple form editor that you may see with other products. It is developed specifically with field service requirements in mind. It's highly flexible, but furthermore, it is model-based, which means that what you define for iOS becomes instantly available for Android, Windows, or any other platform in the future that might come up. While many field service processes are common, we all know that there's no two processes that are exactly the same between customers, and these can be absolutely customized. And it can be done so without writing any type of code in a complete authoring environment. And these changes can be immediately seen without having to go through any type of development cycle, App Store processes, or redistribution of the application itself. This means that the user can simply download, that targeted content will be downloaded to the mobile device and expressed and rendered immediately and made available to the user. Anything that you model as part of this can be targeted, which means that it can be targeted to specific user, group of users, or specific type of job that they may be performing. And what's also important is that, which is a key requirement to field service mobile application, is whatever you model, whatever you create is made available offline. And let's see what this looks like in ServiceMax. I'm going to show you how you can configure a work order debrief process so that it's made available in the mobile app and the technician can use it to capture critical information about the work that they just performed. I'm also going to show you how the customer can define an upsell services capability so that their technician has the information they need to upsell specific service to the customer that they just worked with. Let's jump right into the demo. What you see on the screen here is a typical work order view. What's great here is that everything that you see here is defined using SFM. That includes things like which sections are here, the fields that appears within each section, even the sequence in which they appear in. Not only the view, what it also allows you to define is the type of actions that can be performed on that work order. So let's take a look and see what the setup of the work order screen actually looks like. Here, we're going to open up the SFM transaction in Designer, and we're going to actually find the corresponding work order object here. So I know that this is called View Work Order Service SFM. A couple different options here, but what we're interested here is the Screen Designer. You can see that the Screen Designer here has a couple different sections, the work order section, the description section, and within the work order section, it has a couple fields mapped here. If you take a look at our iPad app, it has the same thing. It has a work order section, has a description section. The account has account field, a contact field, work order, order status, priority, and so on. So let's say that you want to actually make an edit to this screen because the company wants the technician to have additional information available. The way you do this is that you make the change directly here in the SFM Designer. Here, now we've added a new field called How Fixed, and it is actually of a type dropdown. To make this information appear on our mobile device, what you would have to do is save the form, save the changes in the Designer. Now this information can be made available on the mobile app. by performing a config sync. Now, config sync is something that can be run at specific intervals, so it's controllable. You can run manually. But what it's doing now is that it's downloading all the additional metadata changes on the server to the device, including things like layout information on specific objects or specific views. Right. So it shows that the configuration sync was completed successfully. And let's go back and take a look and reload that work order. And there it is. You can see that it now has the how fixed appearing in the work order screen. So in addition to the view, I'm going to now show you how you can configure the different steps that appears in the actions menu. Here you can see that the actions menu contains a section called critical order management. In the SFM configuration, these are known as SFM wizards. I'm going to bring up the work order objects, and here are the available wizards. I can see that there's a critical order management wizard. Let's see what this looks like. Here you can see that it actually contains 4 steps, as the same as you see on the mobile app. The work order debrief, the checklist, the generate service report, upsell. Here you can control what appears there, as well as the sequence in which it appears. You also notice that the upsell service is actually grayed out, because not only can you define what appears there, but you can define some conditions for it. So for example, in order for this to become available, the technician must first close the work order before they can perform the upsell service action. Okay, so let's see how this all comes together. Using SFM, we define the view for that work order, define the available actions or the individual processes which can be performed for that work order. So now what we can do is that we can actually perform a work order debrief. I'm going to say feedback performed well. Okay. Update that item. I'm going to change the work order status from open to closed and save the work order. Now, behind the scene, what it's doing is that it's using that store and forward architecture that I talked about. So even if this device was offline, you would have been able to make that transaction. And when there is connectivity, it's going to go ahead and sync that information up. In fact, you can see it on the screen because you can see the progress bar, which is in the middle of synchronizing this data back to the server. While that is synchronizing, though, however, you can perform other actions. Now you can see that the upsell service action became available because you were able to successfully complete the work order debrief process.
So in conclusion, we believe that the ServiceMax Service Flow Manager is a critical component of our platform. It addresses some unique requirements for field service, such as being able to quickly adapt to ongoing business process changes, make that information quickly available on the mobile app, and be able to deliver customer-specific functionality and customization on the mobile app. So thank you for watching this Maxpert video on Service Flow Manager and ServiceMax mobile app. To check out additional Maxpert videos, please visit this website shown on the screen.